All right then, so let's get started. Thank you everyone for joining us for session 6 of Python RegEx study series, interactive RegEx game nights, and we'll also be going a brief exercise first before diving into the games.
So we're going to start off with one of those IPython notebooks here. So I'm going to share this, this notebook. Basically what we've got going on here is Karen provided a data set to play with. And this is a data set called spamassassin.csv. It looks to me like it was basically, if you get spam, you can forward the spam to this account, and then they can train the spam filter to determine whether or not the email was spam or should be let through. So it's a really neat little data set with a lot of different things to play with RegEx, and has a kind of cool application as well. So basically what I did here, and I'm kind of like going a little sideways here. So I just uploaded the spam dataset.zip and then ran this command here to unzip it so that now we have the spamassassin.csv. And I'm not going to play around with mounting from the drive, but what I'm going to start on right here is this to just investigate the data, and we can take a look at what it looks like. And so each one of these rows actually has like the whole email. Like this email it's the whole thing with like headers and everything. It's what you would see. And if we just check out like one, can I expand this? Just one row, you can see it's got like return path, it's got delivered to, received by, and then like all of the received by paths in this email header. Still going. We've got an X authentication warning. We've got more receives, and then a little set, yep, received. And if we keep on going, oh, it's from this person to this person. Here's the subject: architecture crossover trouble. It was solved. It's got its message ID. That's really nice. It references another email that got sent, so it was in response to something. And then if we keep on going, you know, it eventually gets to the actual message. So that's pretty cool. So it's like the whole email. Every one of these is a full email that we get to play with, which is neat. So basically, here is a method to take every 10th row as a data subset so that the data list contains like a set of items that we can play with. And then we can do some regex on it. So first we start by importing the regex module. And I picked out a single data row to test out of this. And I gave it a variable so I can change this. I can say, okay, like really, I want the first one. And we're just going to follow along on the first email for a bit here. And so the goal here is to get the from email address. So here we go. We do the pattern, and we're going to compile the from email pattern, which we're going to start with the word from. We're going to have a space. we're going to have some word, like word character or an at or a dash or a dot, and any number of those, and then another space. So like those are the characters that could be involved in an email address. It's really very like a very simple email address. It's not verifying that it is in fact a correct email address, but it is taking whatever this is from here to there, between the two spaces, and it pulls it. And so we get, it's from ilig-admin@linux.le, which is cool. And then I wanted to look for the delivered to. So delivered to pattern is really very similar. I'm looking for this word after the delivered to between the spaces. And so here I use well, in both of these places, I'm using the matches group, but I'm really only expecting it to give me a single one. So that is fine. And in the matches group is coming from here, right? It's the parentheses. And so this is the capturing group, basically. I'm searching for the whole delivered to, but I'm trying to capture just the word between the spaces. That's why I'm using matches.group. And we have delivered to y. And then here, we're looking to extract the day of the week. So we already know that the date is coming here right after the from. So we've got from, we've got our email that we already pulled. We don't want to capture the email that we already pulled anymore. So I got rid of the parentheses and I put the space, and then I'm trying to capture basically the first 3 letters here. So not including spaces, however many there are. And I'm not necessarily restricting it to 3, but you could say, oh, give me the next 3 characters instead. But as it is, yeah, there you go. The first line was Monday. Okay. So then we want to go ahead and capture the date. And so I took this to mean September 26th, 2002 without the time. And that gets a little tricky. But how I handled that was I am now throwing away the section that is Thursday. And I'm gonna make sure that that's only 3. So I added the 3 here. We do a space. We're gonna capture the next 3, whatever that is. In this case, it's September. And we're gonna capture that with the space through the days. I'm not sure from this one example whether or not that's going to be 1 or 2 characters. So I'm just going to err on the side of like it could be between 1 and 2 characters. And then I give it another space. Then I allowed for digits and this colon, any number of those, so that can account for the time. And then there's another space, and then we did another digit and 4, and we know that that's going to be 4. And this is the second capturing group. So first I capture the September 26th, then I capture the 2002. And I'm just gonna, do that part in Python. So print the date and then the year. Cool. So for the first one here, it's July 29th, 2002. Okay. And then we did the opposite. We said, okay, let's extract the time now. Well, since I already dealt with the time, it's actually pretty easy to just copy over the same pattern and then move the capturing group to the digits and the colon here. And so now I've got the time. 11/29/2802. And then if we do the full date, and we're being very specific, we can move now the pattern around the entirety of the date. And we get Monday, July 29th, 11/28/02/2002. All righty. So then here, I did a little bit of research, and I found that one of the ways that you can tell that something is maybe spam is if the domain that is in the received by does not match the domain that you were sending it from. Like somewhere in these receives should be something with the same domain that you are sending it from. And if it isn't there, there's a really good chance that's spam, because they're trying to spoof the from address to look like something else. So this is a very simple, very naive method of determining whether this item is spam. So what are we going to do? We're going to go ahead and get the from domain, which we already found in the from email, and we're just going to go ahead and split on the at and take the second part. And then I've got a received by pattern, which is looking for received. And we're looking at specifically here, we say it's received from space by, and this is the domain that I'm looking for. And then for jam localhost is also, it's like another potential, thing that I can match it against. So I'm going to take this email address and this domain in this received by. This one's going to be group 1. This one's going to be group 2. So then after that, I've got a little list of domains, and then I've got the group 2 list, which is going to be the email addresses that it was for. And so for match in received by pattern, we use the find iter method here to iterate over the data row and get the groups. So I've got a domain append m group 1. Group 2 is going to be m.group 2. If there is a group 2, then I'm going to append that to the group 2 list. But I am also going to go ahead and split that and grab the domain of that and add it to my domains list. I'm going to print the domains list, print the group 2 list, print the from email domain. And if the from email domain is in domains, or if the from email itself is in the group 2 list, I'm going to call it safe. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure it's spam. And yeah, this is total guess on my part, but here we go. We've got linux.ie, and it thinks that this is safe because it is in the group 2 list. And if we want to play with a different row to test and see what that would show up as, no, 1 second. This one thinks it's spam. And we've got spam, 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 safe. And it's not unusual that you would see a bunch of spam in the data set that is trying to detect spam, because I'm pretty sure that they had to insert real ones into the data set. But that's a cool little thing that could maybe be, used as like a little pre-filter, and we could compare the safe and spam against the data set to see whether or not they thought it was spam or safe. So that is this little like application, and you all are welcome to, I don't know, I guess, you know, use the IPython notebook for practice if there is a link somewhere.
I had a question, Katerina, about this notebook we worked on. Will be under notebook 6 or notebook 5? Because I know we added it last minute to the session.
Yeah.
Just for reference.
I think, well, it was listed as notebook 5 when I opened it. But yeah, Karen might know a little bit more.
Okay. That's great. Yeah, so it's recorded. So we'll just confirm the exercise we went over was part of session 5, but we continued in chapter 6.